Mercury's.
For the 4 months of amazing content, love from
Last
Toronto.
week, I messed around and tested it out with some gold leaf, and it was pretty cool. This time though, I'm gonna see what happens when I add it to aluminum. It's supposed to be quite destructive, which is why you're not allowed bringing mercury on a plane. So I went to Home Depot and I bought a strip of aluminum. I cut out a small section
Super long
and
stream
drilled a
yesterday
hole
was
about
Bob.
halfway
Hope
through.
you got some good sleep.
This little crater is
xQcL.
I
important
did not know.
because
Wondering if you
mercury
plan
is
on
super
playing
annoying,
Give
and
Thieves
without it, it would just slide off the plate.
Jesus
Aluminum
Christ.
is surrounded by a protective oxide layer. Metallic
Jesus
mercury
Christ.
isn't able to penetrate through this barrier, so it kind of does nothing. Sometimes, it's possible to get things going by manually scratching away the oxide layer. I tried doing this about 2 or 3 times,
Why was this before?
but it wasn't working for me. I even tried to brute force things using a drill, but that didn't get things going either. I thought that maybe it was just super slow to get started, so I went to lunch and I left it for about an hour. When I came back, nothing had changed, so clearly I have to use a different strategy. Instead of trying to remove the oxide layer mechanically, I'm gonna try to do it chemically. So I took out all the mercury and I added some dilute hydrochloric acid. The hydrochloric acid quickly reacts with the oxide layer and dissolves it away. This exposes fresh aluminum metal, which also reacts with the acid. I let it go for about a minute, and then I get rid of the acid. With the acid gone, we'll start to reform the oxide layer, so it's important to add the mercury quickly.
What if a ball of mercury goes away
The
and you
amalgamation
lose it?
started almost right away, but
And you
it's
touch
really
it.
hard to see.
And you eat it.
In the reflection, you can see me lean over to get a better look, and I noticed some very small hairs forming between the aluminum and the mercury. In
It's
real
dying.
time, this process is really slow, so I set things up for a time lapse. So the major thing going on here is the combination of the mercury with the aluminum to form the amalgam. Some of the amalgam that forms gets dissolved in the
waking up.
mercury and makes its way to the top. When it gets there, it comes in contact with oxygen in the air and it reacts to form white aluminum oxide. This part of the process is pretty short-lived though, because it quickly gets covered and protected by the oxide. This prevents fibers from growing directly from the mercury, but obviously they continue going out from the sides. This
It's
happens
still
because some of
going,
the
dude.
mercury is dissolving into the aluminum. The amalgam here also reacts with air to form the oxide, but the difference is that it doesn't shut itself down.
Oh, I
The
see
dissolved
it.
mercury can continue to creep along the surface and amalgamate more aluminum. In theory, this process should keep going until the entire surface is covered with a thick layer of the oxide. The mercury could also penetrate deeper into the
Dude,
aluminum
it's still going.
and compromise its strength, but I think that takes a really long time to do. About 4 hours later, I decided to end the time lapse. I spun the thing around, and when I noticed the other side looked a lot cooler, I was a little bit sad. Anyway, when I poke at it, you can see that it's not structurally very strong. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but I was surprised at how fragile it was.
He's breaking at you,
It looks
Rido.
like there's quite a bit of aluminum oxide here, but surprisingly, there's only about 200 milligrams. I went to clean things up a little, so I scraped away a lot of the oxide. On the edges, this reveals fresh aluminum amalgam, which is the silver stuff that you see.
Guys, what the
As
fuck is an
usual, though, it
amalgam?
quickly reacts and turns gray
Like a
again.
monster?
As I said before, some of the mercury has dissolved into the aluminum. I was really curious to see how much more
Mixture.
amalgamation would occur if I took away all the visible mercury. So I removed the large drop and I cleaned things up.
Guys, I'm not pretending. When I played WoW, when we killed a Deathwing, right? When he opens his back, yeah, you have to kill the amalgams, and they're like big balls of lava, like a monster. Oh,
I then left it out and-
that's an amalgamation.
Did another time lapse over the course of a couple hours. There was apparently enough left to get a decent amalgamation going, but it was actually less than I was expecting. I cleaned things up again, and this time when I scraped the edges, they're not silver like before. Clearly the amalgamation process is done. I think the reason that it stops is because all the mercury that's present is amalgamated with aluminum, but it's hidden under the oxide layer. Without the main
thing.
drop in the middle, we don't have excess mercury to creep out and continue making more amalgam. It also might be possible that small amounts of mercury are taken away as the fibers
Chat,
grow,
what if you did this with a
but I
huge
don't know if that
platform?
actually happens.
Like, crazy
Anyway,
big.
I'm gonna go ahead and react things again
Where'd it go?
because I want to highlight something. So like before, to get things going, I clean it up with some hydrochloric acid. Then I add the mercury back, but this time, instead of doing things dry, I add some water. This prevents any cool oxide fibers from forming, but I want you to notice is the bubbling that's occurring. Instead of reacting with air, it's reacting with the wall of the mercury this time, because although this one is shorter, I think it's cooler than the first one.
Okay, that looks worse.
When it was done, I cleaned it up just like the last one, but there were still some little mercury bits left over.
That's
I
very
think
cool,
they were
dude.
just covered with way too much oxide and weren't really able to interact with the aluminum.
I
I
enjoyed
was
that.
curious to see how much damage was done, so I cut the plate in half. When I take a look on the side, it doesn't look like it went deep at all, and it was really just surface level. I cleaned up one of the sides, and we can see that again, it really didn't do that much damage. I imagine to really destroy the aluminum, the mercury would have to sit there for quite a long
I kinda wanna
time,
eat it.
or we would have to continually remove the oxide that forms. In terms of its application, aluminum amalgams are commonly used in chemistry for reduction reactions. As we saw earlier, metallic mercury wasn't amazing at attacking the aluminum, so for these reactions, we usually use a soluble mercury salt. The general idea here is that mercury keeps exposing fresh aluminum, which really likes to donate electrons. A somewhat common but highly illegal use of this reaction is in the production of MDMA. Anyway, I think that's about it for this video.
Thanks, man.
Let me know if you'd like to see me try something else in terms of aluminum amalgams, and tell me some other
Alright.
metals you'd like to see.
Alright, next. Submarine drug bust.
From chat's monitor.
Dramatic video shows the Coast Guard trying to stop a vessel suspected of smuggling drugs into the United States.
12 months with the content
The
juicer
video
gaming
was
warlord.
taken in June in the
Thanks
Pacific
for inspiring
Ocean.
everyone here
Crew
to
members
always
of the
go
U.S.
ahead
Coast Guard Cutter
xQcOW.
Monroe
Gentlemen.
shouted for it to stop after they spotted the self-propelled
Guys,
semi-submersible.
who can afford a
in
submarine, though?
waters. Authorities say such vessels are
Why is he
commonly
yelling at
used
metal?
by drug cartels to ship their contraband. After chasing the vessel, Cutter Monroe caught up to it. A suspect's hands can be seen in the air. Reports say more than 17,000 pounds of cocaine were found inside the vessel. It was one of 14 separate incidents between May and July where the Coast Guard stopped vessels and seized drugs. Their total confiscation of marijuana and cocaine during that time is worth more than $500 million.
Jesus, dude.
For InsideEdition.com, I'm Mara Montalbano.
Wait, dude, that's crazy, dude.
This is over. That hammer is going in someone's ass!
You want me to stick what?
Ouch!
He must have been real scared of me.
It's really dirty.
Oh, this is kind of cool, dude.
On Halo 3, it was really cool. We were able to record dialogue in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles,
Interesting.
and Seattle.
Take 2, 020 LA secret base.
xQc submarine drug
And
bust.
you,
I
shipmaster,
think it's
just
really
the
cool.
last half a
Hopefully you
continent.
like it xQcOW.
Maybe the flood isn't all I should be worried about.
There are always moments in the game, like once you cross the river, trigger this line of dialogue.
Objective in sight! Watch for heavy armor!
But it's not like it happens at the same time every time. So we have three categories of dialogue, essentially. We have cinematic dialogue, we have mission dialogue, and then we have combat dialogue.
More shooting would be better, thank you!
Oh, did I shoot you? I'm sorry. Don't stick a fork in me, sucker! I ain't done yet!
It's really important for me and Marty to get on the same page in terms of what those lines mean. The combat dialogue is the thing that causes each AI character to seem like they're real. They'll respond in, literally 1,000 different ways. Maybe they're funny.
Sen effin' sensational!
or maybe they're scared.
I'm hit!
We have 35,000 magic combat because we've lost our minds. And this is ridiculous, and we're trying to cover every possible situation.
This is my voice folder. It's an awful lot of stuff.
After the dialogue gets recorded, Jay has to go in and actually split them all up into individual files.
That was good, dude.
He knows to call them all separately. If the actor did multiple takes, he has to choose which take he wants.
We have 10 Marines, and one Marine actor has to get about 1,000 or 1,100.
This is some good content. What is this?
You got a real smart mouth on you, don't you? Kind of pretty, too.
And on the fly, the game code will go in and say, all right, he's attacking somebody with a gun, so say one of those things, Sergeant Johnson. So if he hears a foe, and he might say,
That's weapons fire. Somebody's shooting. He got cover. Bastard took cover.
he recorded 20 things. I'll select which one's the best and plot the others. And those are triggered randomly. If he happens to say one that's particularly funny,
Chat, I think the studio is gonna scuff. Is it not scuffed?
assign a skip fraction to it. It says, hey, you know, don't play this one so frequently.
My faithful, stand firm.
Oh, it's real
Our
too, right?
enemies crowd around us. We tread the blessed path. In a moment, I will light the rings, and all who believe shall be saved.
The cinematic dialogue takes place during the cutscenes or the vignettes.
Until we kill Truth, stop the rings from firing.
Once I get the actors and I cut all their takes up, first thing I do is I say, okay, all you actors, like, start talking to each other. So I do that just simply so I can balance
That's a little dank.
the quality and their volume.
Jay and Marty and C-Paul apply post-processing to the alien characters.
That's pretty cool,
makes
dude.
them sound a little bit less human. They pitch the brutes down.
Anything else, or is that all?
Killing you is almost too easy.
They pitch the brutes
Okay.
up.
He's pecking on me.
He's pecking on me.
The sort of
Okay, that was nice. Live cash meet with my PAYPIG. I don't know what that is.
I am about to go and meet one of my PAYPIGs for a cash meet, and I know you guys really like the Finna videos, so I thought I would take you guys with me.
TOS? I don't know what that is. What is this? I know something like that. What was this video at TOS?
And please ignore my nails. That's what we're taking out money for. So yeah, I will see you guys when we get there.
And you're gonna get on your knees and you're gonna hand me the money, okay? Good.
Pogo 6 months, love you chat and you 2D.
Guys, what is that? He said yes, goddess.
How much are you taking out?
160.
And when will you have more for me?
Next Friday.
Is that payday?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
I'm so confused about what that is.
xQc play Fall Guys, stop watching this trash xQcL.
Well, it's down now. That's why we're watching trash videos, dude.
Poggers.
I want to see the video through, dude. You guys watch.
xQcOW, xQc, look at me, xQcL less than 3.
Okay, now. You took your card already?
Right?
Yeah, you did. On your knees. Kiss my feet.
Okay, dude. This is okay. This is.
Let's go, you're
Say
amazing.
Goddess
Keep it
Via
up,
owns
man.
me.
Funny as fuck, man.
Okay, I'm done. I'm
Hand it to
done.
me.
I'm done,
This seems more
dude.
ridiculous
It's
than
mine.
betting on Boeing's future
your
Pepe
card.
laugh.
Now, have more for me Friday, okay?
Yes, goddess.
I will see you then. One more.
Okay, dude. Guys,
Fine. No, not my sock.
for some reason, this feels fake.
Okay, good.
You want to step on me?
Get down.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, this is too much.
Findom. Guys, get off to
I'm gonna
getting
walk
used
over
for
you.
money.
Lay down.
Okay, this is 100% fake. Guys, This is, it has to be fake. I refuse to believe. For some unholy reason, it didn't feel fake. Just some of the guys' like language just felt kind of real.